So we're back to Drive to Five, Roadmap to Success. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this commitment, because I know that this is a huge commitment on your part. And we have a ton of ideas. The whole idea behind this was to share with you some marketing ideas, training tips, and it's designed to help you grow your business. So whether it's your first 5 transactions, or you just want 5 more than you did last year, or if you're a top producer and you want to do 5 times the transactions than you've done before, that's why we put this session together. And I have Lauren helping me manage the chat and allowing people in from the waiting room. I'm also going to ask her to mute people. If you get unmute and we hear some background noise, obviously, by now you all know that background noise on Zooms is annoying, but we do want to hear from you. So please do open up your chat your questions, your comments, whatever you have in there. We're going to try and follow it the best we can. And then all of these are going to be recorded for you. So several have been asking where. I'm going to show you exactly where, so you will know where to go. They don't happen overnight. We have to convert the recordings and then we have to get them posted to the different places. But really, there's only 2 places for you to look, and that's the MDC, the Marketing Design Center, and that is your RSA. And you can get to the Marketing Design Center through your RSA. So open up your chat right now and tell me, how many of you have been on the last few sessions with Todd Sumney? Yes, no, it is being recorded. Yes, so a lot of you can relate then, especially if you were on yesterday. That was a lot of information, wasn't it? Here's what he's trying to do for us. He's trying to give us everything that's available to us, which is like drinking from a fire hose or getting dunked under this bucket. And then we're going to unpack each one. And we're going to unpack each one and share with you how everything works. And so the idea is, you know, he said yesterday, I've got 19 opportunities for you. Well, by the time he finished, I really do think it was more like 1900 opportunities. It was just more and more and more and more and more. But the idea is, if you just learn one, now you've learned it, now you go on to the next one. So please don't feel overwhelmed. Do not feel like you have to implement everything that we're sharing with you. That's just not at all doable. It's not possible, and it's not effective. So how do we implement what he has been showing us for the last few days? And yes, I will share with you where to go. I'm not going to do it right now because I want to get into the session, but we will definitely, I will live drive and show you. So I will show you where everything is that you can, where you can find it. So here's what I would like for you to do. Begin with the end in mind. I'm sure you've heard this. This is a phrase that Stephen Covey made famous, and it's really, why do you even want to implement all these things? So we have so many opportunities for you, and Todd has been trying to show them all to you. But what are they other than just checklists if they don't answer your why? So Stephen Covey also says the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And that is starting with your vision and your mission. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about checklists. Yes. We're going to talk about programs. Yes. But the main thing we're going to talk about, our main thing today, is to figure out what you want, what drives you to success, and why you're here. Why are you even doing that? So I'm sure a lot of you know all of this already. I'm hoping that what you will say is, thank you, this was a great reminder, or, you know, maybe I've kind of fallen off on that, or if it is your first time hearing it, great. But I want to remind you that we can't do it all the time, or we're ineffective. So what's the difference between vision, goals, and mission? Well, a vision is a mental image created by the imagination. Okay, so when I say to you, close your eyes and imagine where you want to be in 12 months. That vision may not be a bunch of money floating through the sky. It may be a house. This is why we do vision boards. The vision is, where do you want to be at a certain amount of time? And then the goal is the purpose or the objective. So it's the finish line to get there. And a mission are those checklists. So we're going to give you the checklist, but I don't want you to confuse those checklists with what a vision or mission is. So here's what I want to ask you, and this is going to be more of a workshop style. That is, I am going to ask you to either put it in the chat or take a piece of paper out in front of you. And I'm going to ask you this question. Within the next year, what work goal must you achieve with excellence, or nothing else matters? Okay, what work goal must you achieve with excellence, or nothing else really matters? And likewise, I'm going to ask you the same thing for your personal goals, because they have to be intertwined. If you have personal goals that conflict with your work goals or vice versa, you're not going to be as successful. It's going to be a battle, an inner battle. So answer this: what personal goal or goals must you achieve with excellence, or nothing else matters? And I'm going to give you an example of, say, in the field of recovery with addiction. So let's just say an addict or an alcoholic. Their personal goal is they must stay clean and sober. They must. So nothing else is going to matter for them if that's become their goal. And that's what they're striving for. They can go to AA, they can go to rehab, they can call a sponsor, they can work the steps, they can call other people, they can pray and meditate, they can do all these different things, they can read the literature, they can practice everything. All those are the checklists that flow into the one goal, that is to stay clean and sober. So here's my challenge to you, is you need to define what your wildly important goals are. And so up until today, we've been talking about all these things. How can you plan your business plan? How can you take advantage of everything that's available to you? But we need to know, you need to know, it needs to be crystal clear. So I am going to challenge you to spend some time on this, and don't just gloss over it. You need to be crystal clear on what drives you and what you want to accomplish. And then we're going to back into everything that Todd showed us the last few days. So what's the difference between a goal and a wildly important goal? Well, a goal is just an important, and I'm not saying that goals are not important, because all goals are important, but an important goal is a goal with significance. It has consequences. So if you don't hit it, then yes, there's a consequence. But a wildly important goal, that's the one that makes all the difference. So I will share with you a story, and then I want you to think about these questions after I share this story. And that is, I worked with a broker in Arizona whose agent, he said, had the potential to be his #1 agent. And she just was not, she was not applying herself. She didn't seem motivated. No matter what he did, he just could not get her to do the things that he knew would get her successful. So I sat with her and I asked her, what do you want? And she said, well, I want so many transactions. And it's like, I don't know that that's the thing that's motivating you. So let's break it down further. Think about that many transactions, what does that really mean? Well, the more we dug and the more questions I asked her, and this is what I'm going to ask you to do for yourself. The more questions I asked her, she said she had a troubled teen. And she said that she was worried about him being at risk and that he was going other places after school. And she really wanted him to bring his friends to her place. And so we talked about it. And it's not genius, it's just digging to get those questions. So I said, well, what could you have at your place that would inspire those kids to come? And she said, what if I could do my own like little rec center or something, and I could have all the games that they like to play and I could have them all here. So it's like, yes, that would be fantastic. And she started getting excited. And so she started calculating, she got bids. She immediately took the action to find out what it's going to take to build an addition on where she is right now so that she then could make her house the place to go. That's what I'm talking about when I say I want you to start with your why. What are your wildly important goals? And then how do they pertain to your production? And are they spiritual? Are they faith-based? Are they service-oriented? Do you have a scoreboard? Who knows them? Are you out here all alone on this island and nobody knows what you're trying to accomplish and your family just thinks that you're working crazy hours? Does your family know how it benefits them? Do your friends know how your goals benefit them? All these things are important. And so it all boils back down to keeping the main thing the main thing. The checklists are phenomenal and they will help you get there. But if you don't know your why, you're going to be just going from one checklist to another checklist. So let's go back to that example. Your why. Is it family? That's not specific enough. Is it money? That's not specific enough. Is it power? None of these are specific enough. It needs to be specific, which brings us to, and I know many of you have already heard this, so this is a reminder for some, the SMART method, and it's a perfect word for us because SMART, what does SMART stand for? If you're going to be setting your goals, and you're backing into where can I get the tools that will help me achieve these goals, they must be specific. So S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for action oriented, and then the R is realistic. We want to have them realistic goals. We also can look at an R as revise. We want to be able to revise our goals as we go along to make sure that we are being realistic. And then we need to have them time driven. So if I go back to this slide that says, what are your goals? More money. More cannot be in your goal. It has to be specific. So I want to have enough money to build that addition so that my son can bring his friends here. That's what your goal, that's what will make you get out of bed in the morning. And so there are ways to get there, and there are really only 4 disciplines. It all comes down to discipline and execution. But there are certain things that we have to be dedicated and disciplined to do. And the first one is focusing on the wildly important. That's it. Focus on your wildly important and then create a scoreboard. So we have so many tools. The MLS tells you how many deals you're doing. But when you're starting out, you can't just track past production because you don't have past production. So then you're going to count your activities. So you can translate those goals into what activities can you do. And then you find accountability partners. So we're going to talk about all of that in the next few minutes. And really the wildly important, we know this, multitasking is part of our lives. We all do it. but we are wired to really only do one thing really, really well at a time. And we live in a state of continuous partial attention. So we've got our cell phones, our emails, social media, responding to customers, writing offers. Of course, those are the good things. But here's a chart that shows the power of focus. And that's what I want to remind you to do. If you have 2 to 3 main goals, you will probably achieve those goals with excellence. If you have 4 to 10, you're probably only going to achieve 1 to 2. If you have 11 to 20, you're probably not going to achieve any of those goals with excellence. It all has to do with focus. And so I want you to watch this. I hope that this plays when I click it here. I want you to watch and see. Watch this little video. Can you all see my screen? I hope that you can. I'm assuming you can, since I'm just going on and nobody's told me. Okay, fantastic. So I want you to see how many passes does the team in white make? It may take just a minute for it to queue up. Give me just a sec here. All right, so how many passes?
This is an awareness test.
Does the white team make?
How many passes does the team in white make? No! The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Did you? Okay, so that's just a silly little something that I wanted to show you. And yes, you've seen it before. I have too. Let me get out of this so that we don't go into our next one. Let's just get back here to, all right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to be aware of everything that's going on around you, but you have to focus. If you were watching that and I had told you, watch for the moonwalking bear, you would have seen the moonwalking bear. If you're watching for the passes that the white team makes, that's what you're going to see. So I want you to be aware of your surroundings, aware of everything we have for you, but I want you to focus on what your wildly important goals are. So I'm going to ask you to take a minute and I'm going to come back. And if you can put it in the chat, that would be fantastic. If you can write it down on a piece of paper, that would be fantastic. Just write down what are your top 3, even if you put just 1. What are your wildly important goals? What are your wildly important goals? What do you want to accomplish in 12 months? So next year, and Todd says this all the time, start something today that your future self will thank you for. Because in 12 months, you'll wish you had started 12 months ago. So where do you want to be? Okay, I love that. Thank you for that. Make enough revenue from real estate to vacation in Portugal, which, by the way, Lisbon, Portugal was one of my favorite places. So wildly important goal. Okay, signing up with a CRM. I'll show you where to go. I love these. So buy an investment property. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm getting goosebumps because this is exactly what I'm talking about. We talk in this business so much about, I want to close so many deals and I want to have so much volume, but what does that really mean? What does it mean? Getting hardwood floors in the house, that's fantastic. And then we always want to revise them. So pay pay off debt. Okay, so I'm going to ask, these are some fantastic things. So cushion your retirement. Now I'm going to ask you to go back to the specifics. So cushion your retirement by how much? Because remember, when we have goals, we don't want to just say more, better, enough to. So I love this. And I know in a chat, you can't be real personal with me. I want you to be real personal with yourself and dig deep and ask somebody to help you, to be your accountability partner. So if so, look at that. Generate enough revenue to pay off my church mortgage. These are the kinds of things that I just love to see. And how much would that mean? And now you're going to back into it with, how can I now take the tools that Todd showed us yesterday, ride and own horses again. I love it. Love it. This is absolutely phenomenal. Lauren, are you watching this? I'm just amazed at the things that you have in here. These are fantastic. Buy your husband a truck. You know what? One of my goals one year was to send my husband to the Masters. And it takes money, yes, but it definitely takes something that's going to motivate you to stick with it and ignore all the noise. So here's the thing: you get what you measure for, and you need to have a compelling scoreboard. When we look at the MLS, it does show us units, your broker, your RSA, everything that you have access to does show you production scoreboards, basically. But you can have so many other kinds of motivating and encouraging scoreboards that you can create yourself that don't have to be complicated. So if you think about a scoreboard, they really do make all the difference in the world. Are we playing just for fun? Are we playing for keeps? Are we competitive? Are we competitive against ourselves? Who's winning? I mean, if you went to a basketball game and they didn't have any scores up there, it would be a completely different experience, right? So you have to keep score with yourself. And we do have tons of ways that I will show you. I'm going to go in again and do a live drive and show you where you can find some things, and then we'll open it up to questions. But I'm seeing in the chat, I'm loving all of these, loving the goals that you're putting in here. I want you to make sure that you write these down and make them very specific, and you look at them every single day, because you're going to put them on a sticky, or you're going to do a vision board, or you're going to do something and you're going to put it where you can see it every single day. Excuse my cough. But there's a couple different ways, and I don't know that this is really important to know, but I bring it up because if you're brand new, again, you don't have past performance to look at. But you do have activities that you can track, and that can be your scoreboard. So you can have lagging. That's what we call past performance. Okay, we did 20 deals last year. We want to do 50 this year. Leading indicators are, we're going to get up at 6 a.m. every single day, and we're going to whatever. Okay, so that is a leading indicator. How many days am I getting up an hour early? How many days am I going to time block? We're going to talk about this too. Excuse me. How many days am I going to time block so that I can accomplish my things? And I know you all know that there's busy work. There's A activities, B activities, C activities, D activities. So your A activities are your money-making activities that are helping you get toward your goal. Your B are your piddly things. It's all the stuff that you're going to do just to get it done. And you can usually hire that stuff out. The C's are probably going to be your church and your community and your personal things. Not to say they're not important, because they definitely are important, but your D's are the time wasters. So those are the things that we want you to try and get rid of so that you can start working on your A's and your C's. So here's the thing, with a scoreboard, you want it to be easy. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. If you want to say to yourself that your scoreboard, your activity this week is that you are going to text an alphabet letter. Todd told us this yesterday. Text an alphabet in your, a letter in your phone. You're going to text one every single day. So on Monday, you're going to do A's. On Tuesdays, you're going to do B's. On Wednesdays, you're going to do C's. So you're going to score, you're going to time block that. And all that means is that you are going to take everything that you have written in the chat here and break it down into specific actions. Okay, so you're going to have a daily regimen. You're going to have your action items. You're going to time block and hold yourself accountable. You're going to schedule. Todd put in here something I'll show you in a minute that is his schedule. And I think he showed us once before. If you just say, okay, this from 8 to 5 is going to be work, that's not going to cut it because so many things will interrupt you. But if you have from 8 to 8:15, it's going to be text. 8:15 to 8:30, it's going to be call. 8:30 to 8 to 9 o'clock, it's emails. You will get so much done if you can time block. So what I want you to do right now is to just list 3 action items that you can take right now today that will help you achieve what you just put in the chat. So as an example, let's just say the person that I commented on it because she wanted to go to Portugal, I don't know if it was a he or a she, wanted to go to Portugal. And I said, Lisbon was one of my favorite places. Okay, so what's one action item you can do today to make that become a reality? Would it be to find out how much that's going to cost? Would it be to plan your trip where you want to stay? I don't know, 3 things, your goals that you just put into the chat. I would really like for you to right now, before we move on, list 3 things that you can do today to start moving that forward. And I'm going to just keep talking, you keep writing. Because what we find is everybody will say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then there's so much noise going on everywhere that we tend to get caught up in our daily activities and we don't strive for those goals that are the most important things for us. All right, so I love this. Thank you for that. Anybody else want to put in the chat? So texting, posting on social media. Todd gave us 1,900 things yesterday. Slight exaggeration, yes. But if you weren't on yesterday, don't worry, I keep saying it, but I am going to show you where to go. And I'll show you where to find this too, because we have all these tools available for you. We have all these tools available. We have them in the form of marketplace partnerships. We have checklists. We have business plans. We have tools for you to make your life easier. We have so many different things. And then we're going to ask you to hold each other accountable. And so that's the hard part. How can you engage with people to hold you accountable? Can you meet for lunch? Here's Todd's schedule. So if you see the one on the right, it's pretty much open because he worked on, he works, I mean, this is all his work schedule. So he says, yeah, from 7:45 to 7:45, I'm going to be working. But without specifics, you tend to wander. So now I'm going to ask you, so when we go back and we look at this daily regimen, what is your daily regimen? How many of you have daily regimens? Do you notice a difference when you slack? Yeah, so you get up at a certain time, you expect certain things of yourself, you remind yourself. I love the texting with the alphabet and start doing videos. items. Yes. Your action items, you can check them off. Some people are motivated by that. Some people are not. It all has to funnel back to what your main goal was. And then your time blocking. So time block every single day, time block every single week, time block every single month, and write your action items down. So now I'm going to say, when we go to this checklist that we had in the very, very beginning of this session, it looks like a checklist. What are our sessions going to be? What are our tasks going to be? What are we going to do to become successful? But now we know that those things we're checking off relate to what's really important. And I love checking things off too. I really do. It not only feels good, but it's a visual. It helps me to keep track of things. But so here's the thing. What's the challenge? What can you challenge yourself to do today, starting today, when we get off this Zoom? What can you commit to that you're not already doing? So can you get up an hour early? Can you call somebody from your office and say, will you be my accountability partner? Can you schedule 2 hours every day to build and finalize your plan? Can you send it to me? When you're done with that, I'll put my contact information here for you. Can you talk to your family about it? You know, that's the thing, is it doesn't really matter as much what it is. It's the consistency, the dedication, the execution, the focus. I know you've heard all this, but it really truly is. So here's a challenge. Can you schedule 2 hours tonight to come up with your wildly important goals and to finalize your business plan? Can you commit to finding an accountability partner? We should be. Scott has a great idea. How about this? How about if you put in the chat right now, if you are open to somebody on this call being your accountability partner? And and Scott says his wife doesn't have schedules. So I think it does help if you can talk to somebody and even say, I don't feel like doing it today, and they say to you, oh, just do it and get it over with. You know what? That's life. We don't always feel motivated every single day, but the truth is we have to do it. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you are willing to do this, I will do the work and I will match you up. Put your name, put what your production is if you're new, or what your current production is, just so I can kind of match apples to apples. And then I'm going and put your phone number in. So I'm going to say text each other. That can be the first text you make. And if you're in Florida and you're in California, you may be able to text a referral to one another. So you may be getting business from texting. And that's really, truly as simple as it is. So if you put your numbers in the chats, we'll match you up. I didn't know this was going to be a matchmaker session, but yes, start now, start doing something. So here's what I want to share with you too. Todd said yesterday, he kept saying, okay, one more. And I'm joking, saying 19 opportunities for you. Well, he realized that everything that he showed you yesterday needed to be unpacked. So yesterday's presentation, which will be in the MDC, yesterday's presentation was a lot of, it was a presentation. It was not a training seminar. So he's changing it up a bit for next week. And that is, he's going to unpack every single one of those topics that he talked about yesterday. So the topics that he put in there, He's going to unpack and make them a session of their own. Hit or miss, come when you can. He's also going to continue doing everything that was on the session. But if you happen to notice that 30, 60, 90-day marketing, social media marketing that he had scheduled for Monday, that's not going to happen on Monday. He's going to push that back a little bit just so that he can give you guys some comfort in how to unpack all of this material that we got yesterday. So then we're going to keep going on every single day. And I tell you, I am so proud of the commitment that you have made to this, because this is not an easy task. It's not an easy undertaking that we're asking you to join us every single day. Yes, at some point you have to sell real estate. Let me stop for a minute, and I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to show you where to go to find all the things that we've been talking about. So let me get here. RSA. How many of you do, well, let me say instead of this way, do you all know where your RSA is? Is there anybody here who does not know RSA? Okay, so Real Smart Agent, we talk about Real Smart Agent all the time. When you go into your Real Smart Agent, and I'm going to encourage you to not just go in Real Smart Agent when you have a transaction, because there's a wealth of information in here. Just a wealth of information in here. It's not all about tracking your production. So when you go in, the very first thing that you're going to see is this screen, your today screen, basically. And I'm going to share with you, if you go to your education here, you're going to look at class schedules. It's simple. In your own office, it may look a little bit different because I'm in mine. I am a licensed agent with HomeSmart. And so I have classes that you may not have in yours. But you remember we talked about the Real Smart Client, HomeSmart Client app training. So it's usually on the 4th Monday of every month. Here it is right here. So if you look at these, spend every day, maybe that's your first commitment, is that you're going to go into RSA and pick a class or just see what's available to you. But so if you wanted to sign up for that, you click on this and you can register over here. If you pick the state at the top left corner, you're going to have access to everybody's classes, and you may not want to have their continuing education if it's not your state. But yes, this is where you want to go. You want to see the smart Zooms. The smart Zooms are phenomenal. Usually we have agents and broker owners that are sharing their expertise with you. This particular one on the 28th, we have a tax expert coming in, so you can start your year out right. What do you need to do to keep more money in your pocket? But so, okay, so that's where you sign up for the classes. Where you find the classes that we've just done, you will go to this section, still in education, videos. And then you're going to go, well, the smart Zoom that I just talked about is down here. Where is it? Do you see? There it is. HomeSmart Smart Zooms. So if you click on this, it's going to take you to all the smart Zooms. If you scroll up, all the business builders are going to be here. But that's just the video portion. So let me show you where you will find everything else that we've been talking about. If you go over here to this tab that says marketing, you're going to go Marketing Design Center. Now it's going to take just a minute. And it takes us out. It does say leaving RSA, transferring to the Marketing Design Center. So now you're in the Marketing Design Center. And a lot of people are saying, can we get the chat? Yes, we will post the chats in here also, but I'm not sure. It might be a setting on your computer, because when we have the chat open, it has who you're sending the chat to. Then it has a little note paper, a smiley face, and then 3 little dots. When you have the 3 little dots, when you click on the 3 little dots, there should be an option. It's opened, it's set up that way on our end. So you might have that preference turned off, but you should have an option that says save chat. That's going to save it to your hard drive. So you see the 3 dots, and then look above where it says participant can chat with, and then it says no one, host and co-host, everyone. Right above that, it says save chat. Do you see that? All right, well, let me just show you where we'll definitely get this to you. Excuse my cough, I'm so sorry. Let me just share with you. So this is the front page, and it shows kind of what's new. The Popple business cards, Todd is going to unpack and go in and check it out. It's an electronic business card. But if you come right up here and just hover over here, you're going to see a drive to 5. When you click in there, it's going to show you everything that Todd has been showing you this past week, and this is going to grow. So it's showing you the folders that he talked about, it's showing you the business cards, and it's all these guides and the luxury and this children's listing. I don't even remember him talking about this, but this is the coolest thing in the world. Have you ever seen this? This is something that you can electronically deliver and print, and it just says, I promise, so get the child involved. I promise to clean my room. I promise to make my bed. So this Marketing Design Center has everything that we have been talking about here. It has the PowerPoint presentations saved as a PDF. That's what this one is. Session 2 is a live drive, so we don't have that. If they haven't put in session 3 yet, they will. I will make sure as soon as we hang up. I have connections. Lauren, you can help me with that too. Let's get Sam to put all this in. We'll put today's in. We can put the chats in. And so here are the Drive to 5 business plans that Todd talked about, so that you can now go through and look at every single thing that he mentioned, and you can decide which things are going to help you move you to your goals. Does that make sense? All right, so let's see. Here, I'm going to open it up now. I'm going to leave it on share. So if you want to see live drive and we want to see where to go to get things. So does anyone know how I can turn the HomeSmart listing presentation into a Google slide PowerPoint? So yeah, so if you want it to be not PowerPoint, but let me make sure I understand this question. So you want the PowerPoint, you want to download it as a PowerPoint, because right here we're going to say this is a PowerPoint. Now you want to upload it into Google. Is that what you're saying, Scott? So the listing presentation, if you, okay, and so yes, because let's see, Google has the equivalent or so to Microsoft Office programs. So they call their PowerPoint version slides. They call their Excel sheets. They call their Word docs. They're basically the same things. So what happens is you can download this into PowerPoint and then go back into Google Slides and upload it as a slide. Sometimes they're a little kittywampus, if you know what that word means. Jonathan, you have a question that you're going to make a comment. Thank you. You're going to bail me. I can tell.
Yeah, so it's not in the Drive to 5. It's in another portion. If you go to store, we could probably find it.
Yeah, I can definitely show you where the
But there's
property listing.
Keystone, the listing presentation. What is it? Keynote, PowerPoint,
PDF.
Yeah, so I think that's the essence of the question. Do they have it other than the pre-printed one?
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I misunderstood. And so, yes, that is if you go to this property listing marketing. So really you just hover over this and it pops up. Property listing marketing. And then if you go to listing presentations, now it's going to take you to these. So you can have the PowerPoint, and this is the key version, Keynote, that's for Macs. We also have landscape and portrait. We have PDFs. So yes, this is what you meant. Thank you, Jonathan, for bailing me out on that. Todd put in the Drive to 5, just the pre-printed versions. So there's another thing that's pretty cool in here that was just added. And let's see if I can find it. That is a 4-page foldable listing brochure. This is it right here. So this is pretty cool too. If you haven't seen this one, you might want to check this out. This is just a 4-page that you can hand to people. So if you're Palmer House Properties, I'm not sure why you would not have your Drive to 5 folder. It should be there for everybody. So I will definitely check on that. Lauren, can you help me remember that? Okay, so Scott is saying he would like to integrate from the store, and and thank you for these questions. These are excellent questions. There's a buyer package similar to the seller package. It's all the same thing. So we should be calling it a marketing presentation, because the listing presentation is the same as the buyer presentation. And you can take the whole thing and pull out what you don't need, or just use the pages that you do need. You change your talk track, but it's basically the same thing. All right, so Lauren, what other questions and comments do we have? Do you all, when you go into your marketing design center, do you see these drop downs? There is so much, and let me go back to, let's see if I can find where my RSA is. So RSA agent, I'm going to go back to education. If you guys go to this, every single week, we have classes that will walk you through the marketing design center, and it will walk you right here. You'll see every single week we have marketing design center classes that'll show you exactly how to find these things and how to use them. And we've got the listing presentations. So I think Todd talked about that too. So if you want to brand your listing presentation, you just sign up for this class, and it's Zoom just like this. So you can sign up from anywhere, and we'll walk you through and unpack all of the different things that are in the Marketing Design Center and the things that are in RSA for you. All right, let me see what other questions we have. Question, can I change listing presentation front cover to have more Arizona feeling of a house? Francis, is that what you're saying? You want it to look like Arizona? That is a fantastic feedback for me, because in the past, for years, we've had so many people that are saying they would prefer to have them not look just like Arizona. So yes, if you go in your listing presentations, you can still get these that have the cover, and you can customize them customize them yourself so that you can put any picture you want. And a lot of people will go out in front of the house. They'll take a picture with their iPad, and they will then put that digital picture in, and they'll do a PDF version right there, or Keynote right there with the picture of the house. So yes, you can definitely, let's see, I want to use my company to buy homes and fix up with son. Actually, oh, awesome. I love that. I do recommend, so the question is, and I'll open this up now, if you guys have comments that you want to say, anybody who's been in for a while, I would recommend putting your picture on your business card. You know, a lot of us, I'm the worst, will say, well, I need to still lose 50 pounds. But you know what? I am what I am. And so what are they going to be shocked when they see me? So I would say, yes, I think that you should put a picture on your business card. What other questions do you have for me? Yes, I love this. So your face is your brand. That's absolutely. And so some people have QR codes. So this is a good question too. How high on my priority list should be creating my website be, since you're a brand new agent? You should go with the smart sites. So I would make that one of your first things. It gives you credibility, especially in the beginning, but it doesn't have to be the only thing. And I saw a lot of you saying this in the comments earlier, that you would text. That is a phenomenal start. Okay, so somebody's saying they don't have a store drop down in the Marketing Design Center. So if you come into your Marketing Design Center, it's this red tab right here. If you hover over it, then the drop down appears. Does that make sense, Albert? I mentioned some changes to the class schedule. Could I repeat those? Yes, I will be happy to repeat those. It's, excuse me, it's not a lot of changing, except that, can you still see my screen? Somebody give me a yes or a no. All right. So if on day 4, which is today, that was creating a regimen for success with goals. So what are your action plans? How are they going to relate to your goals? On Monday, we were going to be talking about the 30, 60, 90-day social media plan. And so instead, Todd is going to shift that down just a little bit. And instead, he's going to unpack the tools, the 19 different tools, I call it 1900, the 19 different tools that he shared with you. So video marketing, the listing presentation, the business cards, all of those things. Let me show you this too. Hold on. The marketplace, how you find your marketplace. So he talks about all of these preferred alliances, these discounts, the partners that we have. You are under no obligation to use them at all. We just hear that there are a lot of great people, great companies out there. So if we come to marketing and marketplace. So it's not marketing, it's marketplace. If you, on your left side, I had to make this a little bit smaller. So now if on our left side, marketplace, now if you see, this is going to show you where you can get HomeBot that he talked about, where you can get Exact, the contact management, where you can get all the different things that he's been talking about. And people are saying, I don't know where to go. It all starts with your RSA. And you all have RSA. Okay, so let's see. Albert is saying, I'm not sure. Lauren, do you want to unmute and address what you're responding to?
Yes, I was actually just responding directly to one of our agents. So do you mind repeating the question?
Yeah, so Albert was saying, you were asking him what class or what brokerage he was in. He was saying Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Okay, definitely have to look and make sure that it's on there right now. So I'm gonna write that down. Because Albuquerque should still be showing it. So let me log in. Give me just a few minutes and confirm if it is
Are
there.
you talking about classes?
No, we're still talking about the store drop down, correct? We were talking about.
And so the question here, I'm just looking at questions while you're doing that. Thank you. The question is nothing on the 25th. See no registration option for the 24th. That's correct. So these sessions are not every single day, Monday through Friday. Be sure to check your RSA every day. And yes, you do have to register for each one separately. And I know that's a pain, but put it on your to-do list and count. Check it off. You know what? You made the commitment of registering every single day for these classes. And so, yes, they are on your calendar. And let's see, that's the same one. So in your marketplace, so if you're looking in your marketplace, some of these are specific. You have to scroll over. It depends on the display of your computer, we found, but you should have these categories. I said the 24th and it's the 25th. Let me look. Hold on. Let's see what Todd says here. 25th. I said the 24th. I meant the 25th. So on January 25th, instead of it being 30, 60, 90, in social media marketing, we're going to be unpacking all of these. So thank you for clarifying that. That makes sense. Yeah, sometimes my brain doesn't say or my mouth doesn't say what my brain wants it to say. What other questions do you have for me? And thank you for that feedback. Awesome for fielding the questions. That's why we're here, because we want you to be familiar with it. So yes, Scott just requested the transcript. That's not how you'll get the chat, because the chat is completely separate, but I can make sure that you all get the chat. We can put the chat will be downloaded, and we can put the chat into the marketing design center under the Drive to 5. I'll make sure that, well, Lauren can help me. Yes, no problem. Yeah. Okay, so Albert, if you're not seeing it, I'm going to go back to it. Is anybody else struggling with that? Does everybody else see it? So Marketing Design Center, when you go into the Marketing Design Center, on the top left, we have a logo. Underneath that is the store. You hover on the store and you see the drop down. Then you can go into everything. Well, I hate to cut questions short, but I wanted to leave enough time to show you where to go and to find the things that we've been talking about and to encourage you to really make this happen. Thank you. Thank you. Jonathan, you are a wealth of information too. Thank you for that. You can click on the little house. Maybe that will help you find the store. I can't believe it's 8. I know it's pretty amazing. I think that we should start our accountability partners right away. So I am going to get this information out to you. Please, please hold your accountability partner accountable. That doesn't have to be a dirty word. It just simply means, how are you doing? How can I help you? Have you done the things you said you wanted to do? Because remember, at the end of the day, you wanted to take that trip with your grandchildren to Disneyland. You wanted to do this. So you hold each other, hold yourselves accountable, and you can call me anytime. Let me give you my direct number, and that is 602-432-4433. 602-432-4433. All right, guys, make it a good day. Remember now, you did promise that you were going to do something completely different today that you haven't done yet. You are going to start with 3 things that will move you toward your goal, and you're going to time block. We'll see you next Tuesday.